Hi, I'm Julie Langenkamp-Menkel, Editor-in-Chief of InformationManagement.com, and I'm here at TDWI's World Conference in Las Vegas. And with me is Fern Helper, who is the newly minted Director of Research for Advanced Analytics at TDWI. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you, Julie. I'm excited to be here and excited to be at TDWI. I'm excited to be focusing on advanced analytics. I'll be looking at research insights and best practices for organizations implementing advanced analytics. I'll define what I mean by advanced analytics,
Please.
Okay, which are the techniques and tools that are used to analyze complex data, to do complex analysis on structured and unstructured data. So when I talk about advanced analytics, I'm talking about things like advanced statistical models, text analytics, machine learning, neural nets, simulation models, social media analytics, and a whole host of other things that companies are now actually looking to deploy. It's an exciting time for advanced analytics. I'll also be looking at some of the infrastructure around big data, which is obviously another type of advanced analytics, big data analytics, as well as cloud. And as part of that, I'll be developing assessment technologies for users to use to see where they are. And the first one I'm doing is actually on big data.
Great, and I understand that part of that is a big data maturity model. Would you tell us a little bit about what's involved with that?
Sure. So I'm developing a big data maturity model. Everyone's talking about big data now, and companies really want to understand, how do I get started, with big data? Where am I? Where do I need to go? I'm here. How do I get from here to there? So they want to do this for a number of reasons. Some of them want to do it because they want to see where they stand relative to their competitors, so that they can make a business case, for big data analytics. Some of them want to just benchmark where they are so that they can get a feel for best practices. And so what companies will do is they'll come in to the TDWI website, they'll take a survey that has multiple parts. It follows a framework sort of model about capabilities in big data. And then when they're finished, they'll get a score back. Well, they get hopefully a series of scores back that will tell them sort of where they stand against their peers. And it may be by industry or by company size or however they slice and dice it. And then they can see where they stand, as well as get some recommendations for best practices in terms of getting started or moving forward.
Great.
So we're excited about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And what do you see as some of the main challenges organizations face as they're embracing big data and advanced analytics?
Oh boy, there's so many. Well, I guess I would actually put them along the lines of some of the capabilities, or how we're sort of organizing this model. There's organizational challenges, which often are the worst. And then there's infrastructure challenges, there's technology challenges, data challenges, data governance challenges, and with big data, since everyone is jumping on the big data bandwagon, there's also the challenge of there's so many technologies out there. Every vendor is positioning themselves in some way, shape, or form as a big data vendor. So what do I need? How do I sort through all of this? But I find one of the challenges I find the most fascinating are the organizational challenges. When I talk to people and they just talk about the politics that's going on around big data, or saying that, the technology, yeah, that's important, but it doesn't matter, because if the people don't embrace it, it ain't gonna happen. So I'm gonna be investigating and researching, all of those types of challenges.
Great.
So.
And then on the flip side of that, of course, there's tremendous potential for big data and advanced analytics. So what do you see as some of the greatest potential points?
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, I have to say that I've been researching advanced analytics for a while, and even with all of the challenges, and we haven't even talked about sort of the data integration challenges and data quality challenges and all of that, but every company, maybe there was one or two, but most of the companies, the large majority of companies I've talked to, have said that even with all the challenges around advanced analytics, that they wouldn't have it any other way. They would not give away this technology because it provides so much value, and where it's providing value is it's helping to make them more competitive. It's providing top-line revenue and cost-cutting capabilities. But more importantly, with advanced analytics, it's actually providing actionable intelligence, so they can, act on this. It's proactive. It's not reactive. If I'm a telco and I'm looking to predict churn, for example, of my customer base, And I'm looking, I'm maybe using history, but what it's telling me is, hey, these customers with these characteristics, you better go after them and proactively call them or offer them something so that they're not going to leave. So it's that proactive intelligence that companies find so valuable, because of course it costs more to get a new customer than to retain a customer. And that's just on the customer side. I mean, advanced analytics obviously has a lot of use cases, not just around marketing, but that happens to be one of the most popular ones. So, yeah.
Sure. So where do you see the advanced analytics market is headed?
Oh, there's a number of things that are happening in advanced analytics right now. One of the biggest things that I'm seeing, and I never thought this would happen actually, but it is happening, is the fact that the end user of advanced analytics is shifting. I was actually an analyst at Bell Labs many years ago in a group with a bunch of statisticians and economists and very quantitative types, and the technology was hard to use. But it's interesting that over the past 20 years, and now really over the past couple of years, this end user is shifting more from the quantitative type of person to the business analyst, and then to the business user, in terms of how advanced analytics can be deployed. And it's actually happening. So in the research that I've done, even the statisticians are saying that business analysts can use certain forms of advanced analytics. They didn't say what type of model they could use it in, but that they could actually use it. So that's a big shift, and obviously vendors are helping to drive that also. But people want to be doing this, and it's actually starting to happen. There's another shift, obviously, with unstructured data. Near and dear to my heart is another big change. I think that text analytics is finally starting to become mainstream, and we're seeing these semantic enablers being part of applications that are actually going in and analyzing text, pulling out people's names, sentiment, concepts, themes, to actually get at the why something happened. So that's another big change that I've seen over the past 5 years. Obviously, the rise of big data. That's a very popular topic, but it was part of big data, the real-time data, over the past couple of years. I remember sitting at conferences and hearing about complex event processing and how hard it was for people doing this, and now everyone's sort of talking about real-time data. So those are the three. Oh, open source, the rise of open source, and R especially is another change I'm seeing too. So. Sure.
And you personally, what gets you most excited about the future of advanced analytics and big data for either what you see right now or the year ahead? What personally excites you?
What excites me is that I've lived and breathed data for the past 25 years, and so to actually be able to see the things that I was trying to do, 25 years ago when I was at Bell Labs actually come to fruition. I remember standing there, and we could build a predictive model using structured data that could predict customers that could churn. But I remember standing at someone's door and saying, can we get at those call center notes? Because that text in that call center note, that would really give us the why, and would give us so much more insight. And they said, no, we don't have the compute power, we don't have the algorithms, we're working on them now, but they're not there yet to do that. And that's what gets me excited, is to see all of that, that finally, after all this time, companies are seeing the value, they're using it, and they want to use more of it, so that's what's getting me very excited.
Sure, people get it and they can make it happen.
So it's here.
It's very
Yay.
exciting.
It's here.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again on your new role, and thank you so much for your time today.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.